Station, this is Houston on Space to Ground 2. Aki, are you ready for the event?
Houston Station, I'm ready for the event.
TV Asahi, this is Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Houston, please call station for a voice check.
On station, this is TV Asahi. Do you hear me clearly?
I hear you loud and clear.
Hi.
Mr. Hoshide of International Space Station, I am Ayaka Ogawa of Hodo Station. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
はい、小川さん、そして皆さんこんばんは。今日はよろしくお願いいたします。
Hello, Ogawa-san and everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity from myself too. Well, without any ado, where are you now? And what do you see from the window?
はい、ちょうど先ほど南アメリカの最南端を通過しまして、今大西洋上空をアフリカに向かって
We just passed the southern tip of South Africa, and we are heading to Africa in the Atlantic Ocean. So I see the full window of the ocean. Later on, I hope I'll have opportunity to see out. But the space station is going around the Earth, and it goes around in 19 minutes. That means that you have night and daytime very quickly in every 90 minutes. So what is the difference of the time you feel when you are up there compared to the ground?
宇宙ステーションには窓がいくつかありますけれども、そんなにないんですね。で、なので基本的に中に
Well, we have several windows on ISS, but not many. So basically, as we are working inside the International Space Station, whether it is the daytime or nighttime outside, it doesn't really affect us. And we are working in 24 hours, and we use Greenwich Mean Time for our activity. So as far as we are working in the ISS, actually the daytime or nighttime outside does not affect us. However, if you are looking out from the window, you see the daytime comes and quickly comes the nighttime, and then immediately comes the daytime. So it really changes very quickly. Oh, I see. Last month, when you entered the space station, you said that you came back to your home. I heard, because you were there 4 years ago. So how do you feel staying in space station?
はい、まさにうちに帰ってきた感じですね。もちろん。
Yes, you said that very well. I really feel that I'm now home, back home. Of course, there are quite a lot of changes within 4 years. We now have a very big window called Cupola, and within a GEM experiment module, various experiments are conducted. However, the atmosphere is exactly how I feel. I feel really coming back home, and I'm accustomed to zero gravity very quickly, and I feel that I'm very much adjusted to the activity here very quickly. You just talked about the cupola. I understand that it's a new module that you have big window and you can see the outside very well. What's the view like from there?
はい、キューポラ、出窓という意味ですけれども、キューポラはですね、宇宙ステーションの下側、地球に
Yes, cupola is the extended window, and it's facing to the ground side, Earth side, so we can see the whole window full of the Earth, and it is extended, extruded, which means that it's not just a plain window, but it's the windows surrounding all around you, so you can see the Earth and also the space. It's really astounding view. So during the weekend and also in the evening, I really like to go to the cupola and look out. And I really enjoy the time of viewing the ground. Yes, I'd like to hear more about that later on. But before that, I would like to ask about your mission there. I understand that the Konotori is birth to International Space Station. What is the inside like in Konotori?
はい、先月7月末に、コノトリの3号機、ドッキングした後はですね。
Yes, at the end of July, Konotori 3 docked to ISS. So right after that, we were busy carrying cargo from Konotori to ISS, such as the food for astronauts and also clothes for the astronauts that are arriving later, and also spare parts, experiments, and also samples for experiments. So those were all already transferred to International Space Station. Now we are transferring back from ISS to Konotori with the waste, like unnecessary items are being packed to Konotori. And within 2 or 3 weeks, it is going to be unberthed from International Space Station for destructive deorbit and then burn in the atmosphere. So what are the cargoes that you brought with Konotori to International Space Station this time?
そうですね、特徴的なものとしては例えば、メダカの実験に使う
Well, very interesting items that were brought at this time are the aquatic habitat, which is used for experiments using Medaka. We also do experiments for deploying small satellites. So that's what we call JSSOD. We also brought small satellites. So those are small satellites. How are they carried to International Space Station?
はい、そうですね。コウノトリ3号機の船内に、いろんな荷物を固定する、棚があるんですけれども、
inside the Konotori, there racks that fixes various items, and we put items within bag, and then they are attached to those racks, and so they are in bags. I actually have it around with me, so let me show it to you how it looked. Oh. So those are the packing material that you have around. So they are very carefully packed when they're brought up here. So using this kind of a small satellite, what kind of activity do you do? And what do you specifically, Mr. Hoshide, do in this activity?
はい、今回初めての試みですけれども、希望の船内で、こういう小型の衛星を、
Well, this is actually a first time that this type of small satellites are unpacked in Kibo module, and they are installed in the JSSOD, and robotic arm is to grapple it and then release it using springs. Actually, a few days ago, Russian space cosmonaut did extravehicular activity, and they did release the satellite manually using the EVA. What's new about our release is that the people do not have to do extravehicular activity, but rather robotic arm can do the work of deployment of satellites. So that's very new about this. And this week, I have already assembled the JSSOD, and it is already sitting in this airlock inside the Kibo module. And the activity that is to come later on is to install the satellite in the system and then release it in September. So releasing, deploying those small satellites from the orbit, and that is going to be the first time in the world. And what's to do with our life here?
はい、今現在皆さんの生活の中で人工衛星というのは非常に、いろんな形で貢献していると思います。例えば、
in your day-to-day life, satellites are making various contributions to your life. For example, meteorological satellites that are using for weather forecast and also communication, and also broadcasting satellites. There are various satellites, but those are very large and tons of weights that are usually launched by launch vehicles. That is going to be a very expensive operation. However, those small satellites that are using in this experiment are called CubeSat, and the smallest are 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters, very small, that you can hold with one palm. And those are not so costly. And also, as they are launched by Konotori and they are packed in a bag, therefore, it does not have to withstand the vibration at launch and also the sound. Usually, the sound is very large, loud, and that may break the parts in the usual launch. And the CubeSat does not have to bear that. So many people would be able to use this at the lower cost. For example, making quite a lot of small-sized satellite and form a network to be used for monitoring disasters or agriculture purposes as well in the future. And also, the world that we are thinking is very small, that we are now thinking about, but there may be new application that will later come up that will be even broader. Here in Japan, we are facing with various abnormal weather, such as torrential rain or tornado. You may be able to forecast at the pinpoint level. Is that what you're talking about?
はい、そうですね。ピンポイントの予測をするためにはまずいろんなデータを、取っていかないといけないと思いますし。
Well, in order to be able to project and forecast at the very pinpoint level, you have to gather various data, and not all the satellites are capable of very flexible and mobile. So we may be able to do new things with this kind of small satellites. And also last year, on 11th of March, there was the disaster, the earthquake, and there were the situation that difficult communication, like mobiles, were not readily connected. Would there be possibility of solving that kind of problem with this type of satellite?
まだ技術的にいろいろ難しいところもあるかと思いますけれども、そういった可能性もあると思います。
Well, there may be various difficulties, technical difficulties yet to be solved, but that may be one possibility of usage of this type of satellite. The smaller parts, downsizing the parts is what Japan is strong at. This is a very small satellite, but incorporating various parts that kind of application may be possible in the future. Mr. Hoshide, you always encourage people to feel close to space through you. So through your missions, how would you want other people to feel close to space?
はい、皆さんから見てやはり宇宙というのは遠い存在だとは思いますけれども、我々にとっても
probably seeing from people on the ground, probably space is very far away. However, I think that space is getting very close to that is at the extension of day-to-day life. For example, when I came up here, it was like one of the business trips. And of course, International Space Station is going around on the space, so it may not be day-to-day life. However, those people who are up here do the usual type of activity. We eat, we also go to toilet. In that sense, we are living a very ordinary life up here. So if you could look at those day-to-day life type of activity up here, and I want you to feel very close to space. And I hope that everyone, a lot of people, would have opportunity to come to the space. And with that, we would be able to have new culture or new mindset, I hope. So you talked about another business trip overseas. But what behind you, is that a bag of yours? Is that possible? Is it possible to see what's inside your bag?
実はここは希望日本実験棟の船内実験室なので、一応仕事場でして、
Well,
私の私物は
this is inside the GEM experiment module, so this is my working space. So it's not my personal items. My personal items are in a very small personal space, which is a size of bookshelf. So what are your personal items that you brought out to the space?
そうですね、我々が持ってこれる私物というのは、数とあと重量も、制限されてますので、本当に小物ですね。
The items that we can bring out to the space are quite limited in terms of numbers of items and also the weight, like items with to do with the friends and family, and also clothes like this, and also items such as shoes for our exercise. So it sounds like it's very close to your domestic business trip. And I would like you to show us the outside of the International Space Station by using your camera.
希望の船内実験室の窓になります。今ちょっとシャッターが閉まっていますので。
What you can see behind me are the windows of GEM, Japan Experiment Module. So as the shutters are closed at the moment, we are going to move the camera outside of the GEM. Wow.
今窓から、ご覧いただいているのが
Is this what do I see here? What you are seeing is
景色ですけども、ちょうど希望の曝露、船外プラットフォーム、にあります
the view outside of the International Space Station, and you are seeing experiment facility at the exposed facility, and also a solar paddle, and also to the left is the robotic arm of Kibo, and right behind that you can see part of beautiful blue earth that is shining. So it's covered with cloud. And when you went to the International Space Station 4 years ago, I heard that you didn't have time to look out and look at Japan from the above. You were so busy at the time. Did you have this time opportunity to see Japan? And how did you feel when you saw it? That's right. Actually, I had one opportunity to look at Japan in my last mission. However, this time this is the expedition and longer duration. And when the timing allows, I have opportunity to see the Japan archipelago and nighttime view. I enjoyed, and also daytime view as well. Unless they are covered by, it is covered by clouds, I can see very clear view of Japan from Hokkaido, main island, Kyushu, and also Shikoku, and also Okinawa as well. Very beautiful. I believe so. When Mr. Mamoru Mori said that the darkness of the space held me very gently, and Chiaki Mukai said that she felt that she became an angel. And how do you feel when you're up there and see the darkness of the space? Another view. Well, in my former space shuttle mission, I was terrified by the darkness of the space because you do not see the bottom, and you felt as if you were pulled into the darkness of the space. I do believe that humans have to go into space, but on the other hand, I really strongly felt that without the solid Earth, you wouldn't be able to go into space. And it's only thanks to the supporters of the ground that we can come to the space and do good work. And whenever I see beautiful Earth, I really strongly feel really unique and beautiful Earth that we are living on. Lastly, I would like to have the view inside the Kibo to close this program. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm going to change the direction of the camera. Thank you very much. Mr. Hoshide, do you miss the Earth? Lastly, do you miss the Earth?
そうですね、地球を恋しいといえば恋しいですけれども、やはり窓の外から見ると近く感じますし。
Well, in a way, I do miss the Earth, but when I look out and see the Earth, I feel close to the Earth, and I have good friends on the ISS, and I communicate with my friends on the ground as well. So it's not. Yes, of course I do miss, but not that seriously. Missed it in a way.
楽しんでおります。
And also, the life on the orbit is really fruitful, and I can say that I'm really enjoying this life on ISS. And thanks to you, Mr. Hoshide, I really feel very close to the space. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.